Hello and welcome to Colleague Serum Sprint Review for 20.01.02. This will cover the work undertaken between the 21st of January to the 3rd of February. Our sprint goal for this sprint has been to update the main search to improve performance and to undertake several bug fixes based on client demand. Looking at the high-level items and to explain further, in this sprint we've been working on updating the main search to be store procedure driven. This will offer several options to us in the background, but is ultimately being delivered to improve the speed of the search and the loading of results. This work was undertaken for the most part. However, there is still a degree of testing required before it can be signed off for release, and so it's been carried over into the next sprint. As part of the back office project, we've added the ability to attach a document to a timesheet or charge against a placement. Similar to the above, this development work was delivered, but testing was still outstanding, so it's been carried over into the next sprint. We investigated fixing an issue that some users were seeing with certain formatted documents when opening the file in the Word application. This was found to be due to the document that was uploaded as the template containing merge fields relevant to version 6. So not something that required development to resolve, but an extra point for us to be aware of when we're supporting uploaded templates during the implementation. We resolved an issue which was causing a black screen when adding social media links among other document types following the markers lever workflow being run. We've updated the documents received workflows when parsing and attaching so that the original email is recorded against the existing record or newly registered record. We've also made a couple of updates in this area relating to the CV parser, which I'll go through shortly. We've looked into timeout settings for the CV parser to define how long to wait when processing a CV and better manage the experience for the user in the event of a timeout. Unfortunately, this isn't looking like something that can be a system setting or global setting, and instead needs to be a web config product setting that we'll look to update to all clients as part of a separate work item. Again, we've also looked into timeout settings for reports, specifically when exporting, to define how long to wait when you're exporting a file before it times out. Again, this isn't looking like it can be something that can be a global setting which you can define specifically per system, and instead we'll be updating the web config file so that this will update all clients during the course of the next sprint. As part of our portal integration project, we've updated our API so that the registration of a new candidate can include applying a unique username and password against the record. We've ensured when text criteria searching and viewing the associated documents to a record that the documents are sorted in the highest ranking order. So the first document will be the highest ranking document, which attributed to that score. You then don't have to go looking for it. And as part of a number of refinements to streamline workflows in the UI, we've added a way to simplify the email form. So the email form can simply contain the email address, subject, and message body only, and can extend to show other options as and when needed. We'll now go for a brief demonstration on the key features from this sprint. Okay, so the first point to go through is the update that we made in relation to the CV parser, specifically around CV parser when it's been run from documents received, and this also affects the attach to document option as well. But if we run the CV parser from an attachment that's come in against an email that you've obviously accessed through documents received, and we run that parsing process. When we get through into the parser form now, you'll see that a few things have changed. Or a couple of things have changed. One is that now you don't get alert that it's fired anymore to advise that duplicates have been found. The label of the duplicates section has been updated so that it will advise the number of duplicates that have been found, and it will track whether or not you have looked at those duplicates or not. If you have, then it's satisfied that you've attempted to verify that it's not a duplicate, and essentially leave you to carry on with the process. So then when you register, you again don't get that prompt anymore saying, are you sure you haven't checked your duplicates? It will just understand that whether or not you've checked it or not. And also as part of registering the candidate now, or if you're updating an existing candidate or uploading a document to an existing candidate, what you'll notice within the history is that you'll get this email logged associated as well. You'll get this history logged within the process. So the parser has been updated with a bit of time saver there in terms of the duplicate count, but also as well when you're registering the CV, and when you're registering the candidate, the originating email is also processed with that as well and copied in as a history. And that's the update we've made there. The next point to cover, and it's just a minor point, but it's a helpful change in relation to text criteria searching against multiple records. So if you are in a scenario where you are running a search, text criteria search specifically, and you were looking to view a candidate that had a higher ranking score, go to view text. If that candidate had multiple documents against their record within source, what it will now do is it will now filter or it will sort the document so that the highest ranking document is at the top, and that way the highest ranking document will be shown, and you can actually see all the instances where the criteria obviously have been met within the document. This just helps the scenario of if there are multiple documents against a candidate record, as the example, having to kind of fish through and try and find the document that's obviously prompted the high score. This time it's basically just the document that is shown from the outset, and then it then obviously descends down from there in terms of the ranking order of the document. So that's a saver there in terms of obviously viewing the document and the sorting order of them. The last point to cover is the updates that we've made to the email form. This is just to streamline and minimize the form as a whole. So when you're within a record and you hit email, this is throughout the system. The email form has been essentially minimized so that you have the CC, the subject, and the message body. And then if you want to see the additional options of the history types, the merge fields, the templates, the delivery receipts, and so on, then you can select this option here. We've done this because we intend on deploying the email form throughout the system in terms of from the quick search results, from the recent items to lists. We plan on adding the email form in all those different areas, and obviously we want this to be as streamlined a workflow as it can be. So ultimately the form in terms of the different options available haven't changed, but it's just they've basically been put underneath a show advanced or merge options selection here. But in terms of your use of the email form, you still type the email. You can hit Control Enter or click on the send button, and obviously sends the email. As always, if you have any queries or feedback, please get in touch. I'll be keen to hear from you. Also, for those using Colleague 7, feel free to submit your enhancement requests via the support team or directly to me using the above email address. The next video will be the sprint plan for 20.02.01, and as always, that will contain a high-level overview on the items we intend to work on during that sprint. Thanks for watching.